dressing room just moments before his comeback. 11 months he's been out of the ring. He's waited a long time for this. I'm buzzing, he's said, over the last few days. And he's really taking it all in now. Glenn McCrory, the main event tonight, against Terry Armstrong. And that fight coming up right after this break. Welcome back. Well, there is a feeling almost of apprehension here as Glenn McCrory approaches his first fight back for 11 months. His first fight for 5 years as a heavyweight. The crowd have been flocking in all evening, and now is the moment of truth for Glenn McCrory. He's in his dressing room now, just waiting to come out. He has a priest with him, in fact, Father Robert Tickle, who is, there he is, a regular member of the McCrory entourage on fight night. And a lot of goodwill in that corner. Well, in the last 5 years, Glenn has gone from heavyweight to cruiserweight, has won that world title, but now we're going back to Glenn McCrory as a heavyweight, and he's hoping that'll work out a lot better than the first time. Last time Glenn McCrory was a heavyweight ended in 3 defeats in a row and a career that looked over. His life as a cruiser took him to the very top, until the unhappy ending that's left doubts both in his mind and in others. Now, after 11 months, he's back, 2 stone heavier, and with a renewed zest for the fight game.
I'm buzzing. You know, I feel alive and excited and nervous and scared, and all the feelings are there. So I think, well, that's good. It reminds us of my first ever heavyweight fight when I felt much the same. I went out there and knocked him out in 90 seconds because I felt that, get this over with. So, hopefully it'll go the same way.
He's really looking forward to this fight. He's trained very hard for it, and he wants to. He wants it. He wants to win, and he wants to go on. He wants to be British champion. He wants to be European champion, and he wants to get in the top 10 and get among them big boys. Now he's at his natural weight. He's got no problems with weight, no problems at all. All he wants to do is get in there, fight. And the way he's training, I don't think anybody will put him down this day.
The nerves are back again. I've never had them for a long time as bad as they are now. So I think I want to get in there and get it over with quick.
Well, the ghosts are still there, and I expect the biggest ghost must be, can he take the body shot? He's up against the big boys now, a very big boy in Terry Armstrong, 17 stone 4.
Yeah, but the shot he took, I mean, he was blind that one. He was very close in. Good short hooker, Lampkin, and he just didn't see the punch at all. He was exposed. He didn't see it, wasn't ready for it. And it's winded him. And
it could have been merely the trouble making the weight.
Yeah, and the trouble making the weight too. I think he's a heavyweight, 6'4", 26 now in particular. Now 11 months ago, it wasn't that long ago, and I think this is going to suit him much better.
Okay, well, let's have a look at his opponent now, Terry Armstrong, who's adamant he's not here just to make up the numbers. There are few here who give Terry Armstrong from Cincinnati in Ohio any kind of chance at all, especially after Mason bombed him out in 3 rounds 2 years ago. But a victory against McCrory could turn his career around, and he's very aware of that.
Well, this is a very exciting fight, considering he was stopped. And it's supposed to be his comeback fight, and I'm going to put him through the test. He's it might be a little problem him being 6'4" and me just 5'9.5", but considering the pressure that I'm gonna put on him, I don't think so.
Armstrong can certainly take a punch. Here against one of Britain's biggest hitters, Adam Fogarty, he was over in the very first round. But Armstrong stayed focused, gritted his teeth, and was still in there at the final bell, and still throwing punches.
Pressure, that's my fight, pressure. Because 9 times out of 10, I got the short tools anyway, short arms, short legs, short height, so the only thing that works for me is pressure. I come out this way to fight him, to do well. I didn't come out this way to lose.
Terry Armstrong, who's 17 stone 6. He talks about putting pressure on, John, but what kind of pressure can he put on? Presumably it's got to be early.
Yeah, he has to do it in the early rounds, carrying all that weight, 17 stone 6. It's a bit gross, and I can't see him lasting the full 10 rounds. But then again, he could, you know, because Glenn's power is not noted for his power of punching. But he's in much better shape, 15.5 stone, 2 stone lighter.
And he might be just a little bit anxious early on, Glenn.
Glenn may be anxious early on. Yeah, probably trying to please his crowd and all that. He just needs to settle down and just stick to his boxing and just let it flow.
Okay then, there is Glenn McCrory, just about to walk into the ring. We'll be getting that and the big fight. McCrory against Armstrong in just a moment. Welcome back to the Thornaby Pavilion. Well, Terry Armstrong, the formidable frame, is in the ring. There he is, pondering what the future has in store. And Glenn McCrory, you'll shortly be hearing the roar. He's just passed in front of me. He's making his way down the steps, and very shortly he'll be making his way to the ring. Let's join our commentators, Fred Royers for Holland, Hans-Jochen Rauschenbach for Germany, and for England, Ian Dark and Henry Cooper.
Thank you very much indeed, Simon. So, Glenn McCrory, what must be going through his mind at this moment? 11 months since that shattering, morale-deflating defeat against Jeff Lampkin, when his world cruiserweight title was ripped away by that body shot, that crippling body shot. And tonight, in his first heavyweight contest, since he lost in 2 rounds to Hugh Roy Curry back in October 1986. A lot of question marks, and I have to say too, a fair bit of skepticism about what McCrory can do as a heavyweight second time around. But Glenn insists that he has ambitions, that he's buzzing, that he's alive, he's excited, he feels scared even, he says. We're about to find out whether there's much more left in the tank. Glenn McCrory is still pretty young. He still could make it as a heavyweight.
Gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, John Spencer and Cedric Kushner proudly presents the main event of this evening's boxing. A 10-round international heavyweight contest, a duration of 3 minutes of each round. And introducing, on my left, boxing from the blue corner, from Cincinnati, USA, Terry Armstrong. Thank you. And on my right, boxing from the red corner, the former IBF Cruiserweight World Champion from Anfield Plain, Derwentsside, Glenn McCrory.
Great reception for McCrory, favourite son in the northeast of England.
And at the weigh at 1 o'clock today, Armstrong scales 17 stone 6 pounds, McCrory scales 15 stone 7 pounds. Your referee for the main event is Mr. Larry Thompson. Your officials as previous contests. Thank you.
So big night for Glenn McCrory, the first step on the road back. And I think, Henry, a big question for Glenn McCrory here is his heart really in boxing? He was very down in the dumps after the Lampkin defeat, or is this something just to bide the time? He's got to have his heart in it, hasn't he?
Well, I think so, and I think that 11 months, I suppose, he's got his mind together, he's got his act together. Now it's all a matter about proving in the ring here.
So, first round, it's due to go 10. Armstrong, 17 stone 6 pounds, which is very, very heavy even by his standards, and I have to say he does not look in the greatest of condition. And Armstrong, who's lost 6 of his last 7 contests. So McCrory here will be looking to do this and do this impressively as a rehabilitation step, Henry.
Yeah, well, I think McCrory, you know, looking at him, you can see the big height advantage he's got and the reach advantage, and I don't want to see him get mixed up in a brawl and that. I want to see him stand his off his man and jab him, open him up with the jabs, and then let's see if he can cross him with the right. Yeah.
Well, let's hope that Armstrong puts up a better performance than he did when he fought Gary Mason and went down in 3 rounds. That caused a bit of a hullabaloo, a lot of criticism of that, and some from the British Boxing Board of Control Secretary John Morris on that occasion. So we hope for something better from Armstrong tonight.
Hey, come on, come on.
Yeah, as you say, he doesn't look the best athlete in the world you've ever seen, Armstrong, does he? Let's be honest.
Armstrong, who calls himself the battling stallion. But I have to tell you that most of the battles latterly have been losing ones. McCrory with the big reach advantage, you can see that. So really he can poke out that jab and keep Armstrong on the end of it all night and sicken him with it, really.
That's it. That's what I like to see him do more. Straight left jabs.
Glenn, whose last heavyweight career came to a sorry end with a run of 5 defeats in 6 contests. And that was what prompted the move down to cruiserweight and the sparkling career down at 13 stone 8 when he became a world champion. Big money, of course, to be made if he can make the big breakthrough and convince people that he has talent and some ability as a heavyweight second time round.
Yeah, I suppose this is just the first round. He needs a round or two, I suppose, to get that confidence back, because that body punch what he took in the last Lampkin fight must still be in the back of his mind, I suppose. But as I say, if he can go a couple of rounds, take a couple of body shots, then you know he's all right, and then he'll get his confidence back. But as I say, I don't want to see him get involved with a little guy. He should be jabbing around silly.
Caught with quite a decent looking left there, did McCrory. Yeah. And again, he's just getting his glove down a little low and is coming in over the top once or twice from Armstrong.
If Armstrong does that once or twice more, you get confident. It gives him confidence. He doesn't want...
Sorry, Henry, you were saying...
I say he doesn't want that to happen. Yeah, carry on.
End of the first round, I don't know what you thought, Henry. I thought Glenn could have been ring rust, of course. But he looked a bit flat, didn't he, there?
Well, he did, just a wee bit, yeah. As I say, it all takes time to get back into the 11 months out. Is quite a long layoff, and I couldn't split them two on that round. It was much the level.
33 fights, 27 wins for Glenn McCrory, 6 defeats, and 5 of them in his previous career as a heavyweight. The other defeat, of course, against Jeff Lampkin when he lost the cruiserweight title. 10 knockouts. He's not really a big puncher, McCrory. He's more the smart boxing type, setting things up with his jab. And moving up to heavyweight, of course, he might be even lighter hitter, in theory anyway. There's Armstrong. Unimpressive record of 8 wins and 11 defeats, only 3 by knockout. But he's a fellow who's sparred with some of the biggest names around, like Holmes and Pinklon Thomas, Tony Tucker, Buster Douglas. McCrory looking to push Armstrong away from him. Good body shots there from McCrory. Looking to bring the gloves down of Armstrong. Armstrong getting in with his own left uppercut, though. And the jab as well. Left hook whipped in, but few of those hitting the gloves of Armstrong, who, for all his limitations and deficiencies, can look after himself a little bit, which is why he's used by the top fighters as a sparring partner.
Yeah, I think Armstrong is a good trial horse. He's one of the guys you've got to get over and you've got to beat well, you know, so people take notice of you.
Good left. And I wonder if Armstrong is going to get up from that. It came out of the blue, and that may be the end of the entertainment. I think Armstrong is showing little inclination of getting up, and McCrory has returned with a knockout win. The crowd liked that. What did you think, Henry?
Well, it was good left hook, I think. He was on the blind side of us from this side. We couldn't. I'm looking to see the replay, but it was a good left hook. It went over, but it must have called him on. He seems as though he's in trouble there. Yeah.
So Armstrong slips to his 7th defeat in 8 contests. It was a left hook. It looked a fair shot, and well, if the count was 50, he wouldn't have made it, would he? Armstrong groggily gets up and goes back to his corner, and McCrory gets the job done as he would have expected to do. 2nd round knockout. So he starts his new heavyweight career with a victory, but it has to be said there will be much bigger tests lying ahead if he's going to go up to mix with the likes of Gary Mason and Lennox Lewis, and beyond that even.
Yeah. Well, this fight, you can say, was just a confidence booster, wasn't it, really? This is to get his confidence back. Now he's got to get down to the hard work and fight a reasonable fighter, let's be honest. I mean, the guy didn't show us too much out there, did he, Armstrong? But, as you say, it's a comeback. He's making it back as an heavyweight, so now he's got to build on that performance.
So, Terry Armstrong, who'd come in, quite honestly, for my money anyway, looking a little out of condition, pretty overweight, caught by that left, down he went, and showed no signs at all of ever beating the count. Here he is again, Henry, from a different angle.
Yeah, it just went over his glove and hit him on the chin, and now you can see that it just went over. He had his glove there to protect against it, but you can see it just goes over the glove and hits him on the chin.
Well, Glenn will be happy enough with that. He's got the job done quite quickly. Being honestly, sitting back from it a little bit, as you said, and as I intimated, yeah. I don't think it proves an awful lot, but it does boost Glenn McCrory's confidence.
Well, as you say, it's
a good little step on the road back for him, and he may have a couple more fights like this before stepping up a little in class. Let's get the official announcement from the MC.
Gentlemen, please. Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute 13 seconds of the second round, your referee, Larry Thompson, counted out Terry Armstrong. Your winner, Glenn McCrory.
No.
Your appreciation, ladies and gentlemen, come all the way from Cincinnati. Wasn't his night tonight, but we can appreciate his journey with Terry Armstrong. Thank you.
Well, Armstrong will want an easier journey back than the one he had here. It took him 20 hours to get from Cincinnati with 4 changes of aeroplane, and all for 2 rounds. Yeah. So, Glenn McCrory, sometime TV commentator and often a boxer, he's going to have a little chat with our friend Paul Dempsey.
It was pretty straightforward. It was. I needed the first round. I felt. It all felt so awkward. It all, it felt a little bit hard for a while. I just needed to find my feet and get settled. And eventually I knew the shots would come, and they came. I was quite pleased.
Glenn, 11 months out of the ring is nevertheless a long time to be out. Now,
it is.
Were there any worries at the back of your mind?
Well, I think, when it's time to come here, the time for the worries are over, and I felt very confident. I wanted to be positive. I knew I had a job to do, and it's pointless having any worries. And I went out there, obviously, the first round, it did feel strange. It was 11 months, and it felt strange, and then all of a sudden, I felt things starting to come together a little bit at the end of the first round. Second round, I felt very, very sharp. The jab knocked him back, the right hand hurt him, and then, it was time to put them together.
One or two of your fans were looking out for you tonight to come through the door. When this 15-7 Hulk walked in, they didn't recognise him. The last time you fought in this part of the world, 13-7 and struggling to get into that weight category. You obviously are 100% more comfortable.
It's a different person, to be honest. When I first won the title, I felt very comfortable. For the Lampkin, I felt absolutely terrible. I mean, it was hell on earth. I came through that. A lot of people said that maybe it was a non-starter, maybe I couldn't come, but I knew what I needed was a rest. It had been 9 hard months, 3 world title fights. In the way it was killing us, I needed a rest, and now it's time to go again. I'm back on the train and ready to go.
Okay, this is no one-stop comeback. There are a couple of useful heavyweights already in Britain that you know about. Lewis, Mason. Do you feel, when would you be ready to have a go at them?
Well, I feel I was ready to have a go at them 2 years ago and beat them. But obviously, when I go in with them guys, when I go for the titles, I want to be my very, very best. And I'm still young, just turned 26. I've got a wealth of experience behind us. And now, the power's coming, the size is coming. I'm turned into a man. And I think, before too long, I'll be stepping in there with them guys.
Good to see you, Glenn. We'll see you on boxing with Eurosport and Sky, no doubt, in another capacity soon.
Well, one thing I got to say is thanks to Eurosport, because it's nice to be there. It's nice to be part of the team. And
nice to see you. I'll take you up to that pub and teach you how to pour a pint of Guinness tonight.
Yeah, I'm struggling. Thanks a lot. Cheers. Thank you.
because I'm sure the pints will be flowing at McCrory's all night. And he looked so relieved at the end there. I think the picture told 1,000 words, and it was a pretty impressive finish. He looked a little nervous early on there, John.
Yeah, he just didn't get going at all, and he wasn't positive, wasn't throwing enough punches. But obviously he went back to his cornermen told him to pull his socks up and just get out there and start throwing some punches, you know, instead of just posing around. And he did, and he really, the way he responded was so positive, and it was great, really good.
Let's have a look at the punches that finished it, with the left hook in particular. How convinced were you by it? Let's have a close look at it. He was starting to say, as you say, he's starting to throw punches now.
He's very positive in that. He came out, he was really meaning to, and sort of left hook, half hook, half uppercut.
Just seemed to go over the glove and caught him on the side of the face.
Yeah, it seemed to be caught him on the his right side of his cheek. It's the eye, the side of the nose. It looked a bit like one of those delayed action punches. But it was a good job, and there it goes again, left hook.
Armstrong just had a look up to see if any more were coming, and then I don't know if it was a conscious decision or not, but he decided maybe that enough was enough.
But whatever, it was a good job by McCrory. I think he went out, particularly the way he responded from the first round, which he wasn't doing anything at all. And his cornermen has told him exactly what to do, and he's gone out and done it. And that's it. I'd like to see him throw a lot more punches, use his height, use his reach, but be very, as he's just done there, you know, very positive with his punches. I think he should believe in his, tries to go for a bit more power.
Do you think he is a legit heavyweight now, with the likes of Mason and Lewis?
Yeah, I'd say he's a legit heavyweight. Certainly 6'4". I mean, he's 6'4", 15.5 stone, 26 years of age. I would say he's a legitimate heavyweight, absolutely. He's got all the boxing ability in that. I would like to see him try to impress more punches, punch harder, you know, or mentally go to actually really smack the punches in, because he can do it with his height and his reach. He's got all the boxing abilities to get him into situations, out of bad situations, but in the meantime really impress on these punches which he's shown tonight, because that other negative bit of like the first round that gets him nowhere.
Okay, let's hope for the